I've lost my dad. This was now 12 years ago. I've lost other family members. I have close friends who have lost family members. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. Nothing will compare to the loss of my firstborn son, Eli, right after his first birthday.
Man.
And this is just something that, I use social media to kind of like once a year share that it has happened. This isn't news to my close friends and family, but this is something that I just felt like sharing with your audience. It was a tough time.
It's okay, baby, it's okay. Got a lot of words you will.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Jersey to Vegas podcast. I'm Pete, and we have a special guest, someone I've never met before, but we know each other. You know the person we just from acquaintance to a friend to a cousin. He might be my cousin. Somewhere down the line, he just reached out and he has a similar story and or has been through similar things. And I guess the podcast or videos has intrigued him to reach out to me. And I was like, yeah, let's do this, man. So I want to introduce you to Les. He just came back from vacation, so maybe he might be very rested up, and he's going to be ready to go. Les, man, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, man. And again, thanks for accepting the offer to speak with me. And, we have similar friends, just like you were just talking about. I don't want to just name drop just yet, but we have the same friends, man. And it's so cool. What's cool about this conversation is that this is literally the very first time we're speaking to each other. I don't even think we've ever met in person, like when you were in Nutley. I don't think it's ever happened, which is very odd. But we know the same people. We have pretty much the same, a similar network. So, no, thanks for having me. Name's Les. Full name is Les Paul Ivanga. We can get into that later on if we need to, or if you want to. But yeah, born and raised Jersey, 100% Filipino. It's somewhat of a typical story. Parents coming here from the Philippines.
Right.
Meeting each other here. Grew up in Jersey, and I still live here, man. And pleasure speaking with you right now.
Yeah, man, perfect. It's great. Like I was saying before, thank you again for reaching out. And it's one of those things where I think I talked about this in my last interview, but it's not up yet, that you do things like podcasts and video or post, and sometimes you feel like no one in the world is listening, right? No one's gives a shit, no one cares, but you just do it to do it, and then you get a message where you sent me something where you have something to say. I think, and not even something to say, just something maybe we can talk about and learn from each other and or just exchange emotions. I don't know. Did you say you wrote stuff down? You have notes?
I've got some notes, man,
Okay,
because I'm a type of person who likes to take in a lot of content in different forms.
Okay.
I forget a lot of shit too.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But some gems stick with me. And, with this audience, I just want to make sure I touch on some of the things that I've learned throughout the last few years.
Gotcha.
So that's why I have some notes with me, and
yeah,
kudos to the people who can just naturally remember things and just spit whatever they've got in their brain off the cuff.
Right.
Admire people like that.
Right. It's different. Everyone's different, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. So while you're going through that, and you said you had notes, and you did hit me with the question. So let's open up with that. What is it you want to share with us here? What is it we're talking about?
Yeah, a lot of your content talks about dark times and dealing through them, right? A lot of my close friends and family certainly know about the dark times that I've been through in my life. Not a story that's, everyone's been surrounded by of a loved one. I've lost my dad. This was now 12 years ago. I've lost other family members. I have close friends who have lost family members. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. Nothing will compare to the loss of my firstborn son, Eli, right after his first birthday.
Man.
And this is just something that, I use social media to kind of once a year share that it has happened. This isn't news to my close friends and family, but this is something that I just felt like sharing with your audience. It was a tough time. It was we found out he had bacterial meningitis.
Okay.
And he started with being lethargic. He had a fever, cold symptoms, a droopy eye. And I have in my notes here, bacterial meningitis. It's actually an infection which gets into the brain and spinal cord.
Right. It really attacks the nervous system.
Exactly. So everything happened so fast at the hospital, and his condition worsened by the minute. So at that moment, we decided to fly him on a helicopter to CHOP, which is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So a helicopter is flying with my son, who's not doing well at all, and we're driving down the turnpike. And once we get there, this is the best of the best doctors trying to do what they can for him. But yeah, at 5:27 p.m. on June 23rd, 2009, he passed away. 5:27 p.m. That's actually his birthday, May 27th. It sounds cliche, but I can't help but think about how do you go through something like that, right? How do you go through it? And it's cliche. You literally have to take it day by day.
Right. Wow. So it was in a chopper. Your son was in a chopper, and you had to drive. Kind of like they rushed him there, and you were just in your car waiting, like trying to get there as fast as you can.
Hey, it's happening all in real time. It's happening so fast. We had to make a decision right then and there. Cost is not even we'll talk about cost later on. Like, you're trying to revive your son. And just excuse my pauses, because this is literally the first time I'm actually talking about all this stuff, and it's been how many years now. So
wow.
yeah, it's just like we're driving down turnpike. He got there. We had to get him there as soon as possible, and that's what we chose to do at that moment.
Wow, man, I can't. Yeah, I don't think it's cliche at all. It's like that's day by day and trying to get over how. And this is the first time. This is the first time you actually talked about it. Well, besides your friends and family.
Well, with I'm not going to say that you're a stranger, but this is talking to someone about it, because this isn't something that comes up in regular conversation, Pete. Obviously,
absolutely.
I don't talk about this. It doesn't. It's always on my mind, but and I obviously spoken about this with close friends and family, but not with someone on a podcast.
Right, now it's out. It's literally
it's out.
Gotta be out.
It's out. This has happened, and the only time heals the pain, but the pain will always last. It'll last forever, and we couldn't get through it without the support of family and close friends. Everyone copes with tragedy in different ways, and it's typical to find some sort of outlet to feel some sense of normalcy, to get back into the rhythm of life. And everyone just copes in different ways, is kind of my point.
Right.
For us specifically, it was some corny things like binge watching Friends episodes, or me getting out and trying this hard game of golf, and getting more into it, focusing on our careers at the time, planning Disney trips. We're big Disney heads, so it's just it was a surreal time that just felt very quiet. It was just very quiet at time.
Yeah, that was the question I had was you're kind of answering right now. I was how did you after the time, of course, grieving process is as long as it needs to be for people. Who knows if it ever ends? I don't even know if it does. But you said, binge watching, taking up something new, a new sport or whatever, a new skill, is you're just trying to keep your mind busy, or just trying to find some other way to, I don't know, you have energy, you don't know what to do with it. Is that what you guys are trying to do, or just kind of just trying to figure it out?
So like you said, people cope in different ways, and I'm happy to share what we ended up doing. Things could go left for people when something like this happens. They could just give up on, let's just say it, give up on life. What's the point of continuing, right? My wife, Roselle, and I just decided, let's just try again. We're young. So Pete, 10 months after Eli passed away, our son was born, our next son. And do the math, we didn't wait, which is, I'm saying it out loud.
Right.
And it could sound kind of weird to some people, wait, you just went through the most dramatic thing that anyone can go, and you're thinking about having another one. At that moment, yes, we were about 30 years old, and we're just yes.
Right.
So yeah, with tragedy comes that, a lot of cliches tonight. Right at the end of the tunnel, and our son Eli was born, and you never really get through with it. You just make the decision to continue living life. That's what we chose, and to make Eli still a part of it.
Right.
We take trips to the cemetery a few times a year still with the family, bring the kids, and just in memory of him.
Thanks again for being vulnerable, sharing the story with us, because it's I did not expect, you wrote it down. I really, until you say it and you're here, like it's a tough conversation. It's tough to even not listen to, but it's tough to imagine it. Like, you put yourself in the perspective of you, and you can't ever understand what you've gone through, but at the same time we can still all sympathize and or just relate, that their kids are important piece of your life. And then, like, you guys decided to move right versus left, and that's a big decision. That's a lot of strength, I want to say, because I don't know, like, I think I would probably go left for a little while. You know what I mean? It's like that I guess that very, you kind of just know, right? I don't know. I believe in God. I believe in things. And there's something tells you that something is right. And for that moment, that felt right for you guys. And 10 months later, no time's a wasting. Awesome.
Did not waste time.
No, did not, man. But self-educate, you kind of talked about this too, not to swing away, but as you are, and or where I'm kind of crying right here. Not kind of, I am. Your coping and your coping mechanisms. Did you read more? Did you listen to stuff more? For me, I'm a big, like, when I get stuck in my head, I need other voices to kind of help me, make me more positive, I guess you can say. Was there something that you do that helped in that time, or even now, presently? Like, what is it when you have still another dark time? Like, dark times don't stop. Like, how do you continue to self-improve and be better?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a combination of, some of it's typical, like listening to podcasts and audiobooks. It's living an active lifestyle. It's keeping your relationships and connections, which all can be hard because we don't have, a lot of people use the excuse of time.
Right.
It's easy to say, oh, you just make time for all that. But yeah, no, I choose to make time to listen and read. When it comes to podcasts, it's a lot of Tim Ferriss. It's a lot of Gary Vee. I'm an economics major. I get into like the Freakonomics stuff. Tony Robbins, Joe Rogan, Daily Stoic, like a good mesh of just like great content that it just feels good to listen to.
Yes.
And I love taking deep dives into those conversations that they have with renowned guests, obviously. And you use the word relatable, but you start ending up finding out that we're all going through shit, in different forms and ways. And I just love the opportunity for people to open up to some things that they're not comfortable about talking about. And also what I'm learning to do is being a good listener as well, because in a great conversation, a lot of it's listening, right? But they say it's like you got 2 ears, 1 mouth. It's all about listening. So yeah, those are the podcasts. The audiobooks is Subtle Art, Not Giving a Fuck. I love that. Obstacles Away, Ryan Holiday. Essentialism, Greg McEwen, just like focusing on, did you know the word priority was pluralized like kind of late in the word priority used to just be singular. And I want to say kind of like, I don't know what century, don't ask, like 19th century, 14th century, whatever. Someone chose, or people started pluralizing the word, it was just fascinating to me. Priority. Like, why there's so many?
Yeah.
One, right?
Yeah. I'm like talking like, am I saying this wrong? I was like, wait, priority is
You're
one.
allowed to say
and why
priority.
is there multiple
it's
ones?
priorities now.
That's
People
priorities.
have priorities. People have priorities. But just the fact that we always pluralize. Yeah, more than one important thing. Sure.
Right.
Anyway, that was from the
Interesting.
Essentialism book. Yeah. And some more Tim Ferriss stuff like 4 Hour Work Week. Just
right.
Like
efficiency, biohacking, all that stuff.
7 Habits. A lot of good stuff. So those are the audiobooks. And I'm talking to someone who knows about active lifestyle. And I dabbled with like weightlifting, like strong lifts was my thing, 5x5, and I dabble with some beach body at home
everything. Yeah,
and then the sports that I'm into, it's like the golf now, and basketball, tennis, pickleball, whatever keeps you active. Everyone has different ways to stay active, right? Walking is a really good one too, that everyone, almost everyone can do. So those are the things I'm doing to like self-educate, self-improve myself.
Good. Notice, like, you always say it's cliche, right? But why is it cliche if it works?
Right?
It doesn't, like, everyone says like, oh, it sounds cliche. I was like, yeah, but it works. Yeah, and that's why it's you're gonna say it over and over again. Like what you're saying now with how you cope. Like when you do, it's movement. You gotta move, right? Even if it's just walking. And I feel like walking gets so downplayed because of, I would say, the past X amount of years where it's not intense enough for people, but it's getting more more play these days, that like walking is important. Sometimes that's all you got to do. Reading, finding things that make you feel. That's what you said, right? You're like anything that kind of makes me feel a certain way versus like something that makes like when I'm sad, like I could really be sad by listening to a lot of sad stuff, right? But you can also choose to listen to something a little bit higher, or a little more positive and or real, and you kind of picked the right road, man. You did because I still try to picture myself as you, and it's kind of impossible too, just yeah, it's got to be. And how long ago was that when your son passed?
This
30?
was 14 years ago, so 2020 passed.
Okay.
And early on during those first few months and even years, like it was so weird early on when people were asking, "Oh, how many children do you have?" Or, "Oh, you're pregnant. Is this your first child?" It's like we didn't really know how to answer that without feeling some sort of emotion, or it was just odd. It was
Yeah.
not normal. And I know, and just thinking about it now, like there was a point where it just ended up, I guess, I'll never forget Eli, but in the context of just like a normal conversation, we just didn't want to bring it up because it ended up being like a downer type
Right.
story. Why am I going to go into this whole thing with someone either I just met, or like colleagues or whomever? Just like, why even? So I don't know. That's just what happened at that in that weird kind of first few years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. How do you? Yeah. No. You had nothing there because it. Why would you want to? Right. It's like it's gonna keep bringing it up, and you guys not that you're trying to forget about it, but the first thing you want to talk about with someone new and or someone you've never really met or seen before, like of course there's gonna be more questions they're gonna ask, and I'm sure that's gonna be stuck on you guys for like a longer period of time than them. Right. They'll have a story, but now you're still trying to cope with it. It's not that it's not a bad thing, right? It's just kind of a choice that you had to make things better for you guys.
And it didn't take 3 years, 5 years, 8 years. It's taking me 14 years to kind of bring this stuff up.
Right.
I'm happy to speak about it
Right.
with whomever wants to talk about it. I don't feel offended or defensive because people will be asking because they generally want to know, or maybe they're going through some shit. So I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone about it. My wife is it's probably way different. So this is what I'm choosing to do at this moment, because I feel like it may help some people.
Right, for sure. In that time or even now, like what made you keep hope? Really, that's actually a question I wrote down. Like what made you like you continue to do things a little bit more, like, be busy and read and do other things. But what was it that helped you stay up there versus like going the other way?
It's just focusing on creating a family.
Hmm.
When we got back home from from the hospital, and obviously they didn't let us drive home. They had a friend drive us back from Philadelphia to Jersey, and we were just in the back seat. And once we got home, it's like the quietest. Like you could hear a pin drop. We walked into Eli's room and we literally just lied down on the floor of his room. It was daylight at the time. We stared at the ceiling and we cried for hours. And it got dark. Cars were passing by on the street, still crying. I'll never forget that. That's just how it felt at the time. So
Right.
like the emptiness, right? We wanted to fill the home. So what gave us hope? Like I said earlier, just the ability to let's make this family, right? So right now it's living through my three children. I love saying that.
Right.
Leaving a legacy. What gives me hope is, living life through them, teaching them that we can only control ourselves. It's the multiple proud moments and letting them know about it, letting them, big or small, just saying that I'm proud of them. We're catching a fly ball, or, they play baseball, stopping a goal. One of my sons is a goalie. Little things too, just like the acknowledgement of, their little sister needs help with something and they just want to help. It's just opportunities, just finding opportunities to show love to them. And maybe I'm thinking about now, maybe I go overboard sometimes with it, but it's probably because of the tragedy of what we've gone through. I mean, there's definitely moments of tough love. There's definitely moments, real moments, like they're just pissing you off or they're not doing something that
Sure.
they should be doing, teaching manners and things like holding the door for someone. like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, but we say I love you a lot in this because we choose to. I mean, I don't know if you read it, like a couple months ago, there was like this 85-year-old Harvard study about like what really causes a long life and what's really happiness or what helps with more happiness. And it's our relationships with others and our social fitness. It helps us live long. It's just having, and it's not just a spouse or children. It's just saying hi to like the person you always see at ShopRite or like a grocery store. Just like having those moments of those social moments. Like, because when you're alone and you're growing older, it's harder to find a reason to like keep going.
Oh, agreed. It's very common for, it's real, right? When an elder married couple, one passes, it's not much more time till the next one does too, because of that, whatever it is, exactly what you're talking about. That love, the care, the emptiness kind of is not there anymore, and the emptiness just grows, I guess, So as long as they do have other people surrounding them, usually they hang. But for the most part, you see in people all the time. Right, one person passes, and like another couple more months, like the other one does too. Especially like old married couple. What you see. Sorry, how did your I'm gonna ask you about your wife. Not that you're her, but how did she cope? I don't want to say deal with it. Cope.
Mm-hmm.
Were you the rock? Like, was she? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just very, very hard
Right.
for her, obviously. It's like so obvious. I was there for her, Pete. Like I was there for anything she needed or wanted. So and she had a great support system in her friends and family. So yeah, there would those early days, months, years, lots of crying, random crying, lots of things, songs that would come on, remind us of him. All the videos and pictures that I have taken that pop up. And she's the strongest woman I know. It's just no doubt about it. So I was there for her, and yeah, that's what I chose to do, and it was like
Good.
the obvious thing to do.
Right.
But she, I'm going to say it again, like she continued to do what she needed to do. I did the same, and we raised this great family, and we're taking advantage of vacation time and
Yeah,
of
man.
I'll travel for work. She'll join me afterwards. We did
Yeah,
that
nice.
recently as well. Moments for ourselves, which is very important.
Are you a late sleeper or
Um,
or do you like sleep normal time?
it depends on if I got to work out in the morning. So I'm not getting up early, so I can sleep in.
Yeah, yeah.
It just depends. Like if there's a Nick game, I'm watching it. I don't care how late it is. It just depends. But I usually try to sleep around. Okay, I'll put it this way: I try to get 7 hours no matter what.
Okay. Yes.
That's like non-negotiable.
Right. Regardless of whatever time it is, hopefully it's that long of a period of time.
How about yourself?
Same. I go to
Yeah,
sleep. Pretty much I put the kids to bed and usually
yeah,
just fall asleep with them. I try not to. Like
nice,
my wife's downstairs waiting. Like, we're gonna watch a
sure,
movie? I was like, sure we are.
nice,
I fall asleep so fast, but
yeah,
I'm an early guy, like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
great.
I'm awake. Yeah. That's just my clock. That's why I was like pretty good at training. It always helped me out because I do those early sessions all the time and not have a problem. It's what nighttime is tough. Like when it's late, I'm like, I can't see straight. Like, late's like after 9, after 9 or 10 o'clock. So I'm not
Oh
really
yeah,
that
I
far. Yeah.
mean we're getting older, so
Yeah.
that's what ends up
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. My priorities.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
How old
one,
are you?
45.
Oh, same. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
78. Born in 78. All right.
Ah, all
Awesome.
right.
Good shit.
See, probably like 35.
We were talking about acquaintances or whatever, similar
Yeah.
friends. Greg Stone, I grew up on the same street as him.
Oh, you were here. You're.
And I'm sure some of his content involves some Filipinos. Like, does he touch on that at
Of
all? Like,
course, of
I love
course.
it.
His older stuff, I don't know anymore. He'll reference
Okay.
Filipinos every once in a while, but
Okay.
for the most part, yeah.
Good
Oh, I
shit.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
two houses down. It was
Yeah,
Greg.
no shit. That's
Mark
great.
Rosamilia.
Yeah.
Um, used to through like my brother-in-law, it's like friends, and then we would do fantasy football together. We played poker.
Man.
Got to know him really well. Obviously his brother Anthony,
Yeah.
kids and stuff. So yeah, I know Mark. obviously the Nutley crew with like Marlon and Jason. I just golfed with
Yeah.
them.
Right.
And yeah, just anyone from Nutley.
Yeah. You're the monster.
Filipinos from Nutley are very
Right.
much know all
They're
them.
pretty much the same. They're all the same. They all migrated to Nutley from somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I did not know that. I didn't know you live in the same block. So you're the Filipino that they all talk about when they
Yeah,
reference
man.
like the
Had
yeah.
to have been. Had to have been. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I'm the
not
Filipino.
all bad, but I'm sure for the intent of getting some laughs, throw in some stuff.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Good shit.
fun.
Good shit.
Oh man. All right. So we're talking about coping, talk about your wife. What do you and let's talk about let's not close it, but what do you want the listener to like walk away with? You know, there's always a message, right? And what's the message that you're trying to portray, sharing your story here with us today for the first time? No.
Yeah, I think I talked about it earlier.
Okay.
Just telling someone you love them, right?
Right.
I guess when we were younger, it was like either too cool or kind of embarrassing, or we're like too insecure to like say it. But tell someone you love them. Or show them that you love them, especially before it's too late, right? Like there's gonna be a last time you see someone. So just like say I love you randomly. Like what's the bad out of that? It's not like cool to say that to like your boy or like to your kid or to a random stranger that does something super awesome for someone else and you just want to express how you feel about them. I don't know, or the thought. So that's a big takeaway. Actually, I have a second one. Just like take advantage of it's all relative, right? But like your youth and your health. It's like you just put things in perspective. Like an example, for example, people are tired doing dishes, right? You got a whole stockpile of dishes in the sink, but like there's going to be a day when the kids are old and you're alone and there won't be any more dishes to wash. It'll just be yours. Or in the
Yes.
context of working out, like that temporary pain and soreness of a great workout, you're complaining that you're sore. Oh, boo hoo. Like there's people who can't do what you're doing or don't have the ability to do it or the time. Like be happy in the moment, be present
Right.
while it's happening. Like, I don't know, a lot of
Absolutely.
complaining going on in this world
Yeah,
for no reason.
absolutely. Be sore. I was like, I want to be sore. It's like, can you help me become sore, please?
And that's another thing, Pete, about pain. I forget. I think I read this from Mark Manson's like people try to avoid pain, right?
Yeah.
People try to avoid pain. And when they shouldn't, pain is necessary. I'll go back to workouts. You want to grow muscles, you need some pain. You're going through a traumatic time, let's say pain of going to a job that you or but it's like what's that audio clip? Pain is temporary.
Yeah, pain is temporary.
Yeah, I mean, but some people try to avoid it or avoid failure. Pain is failure as well, but you're not gonna learn it unless you go through it. So like that ends up being, I'm all about positivity, Pete, right?
Right.
But sometimes it can be fake or delusional. You know what I mean? Like way too much positive, attacking, blah, 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 like overboard positivity. Right. I mean, don't you have to acknowledge sometimes that sometimes things just like really suck?
Yeah.
Like I'm dumbing it down kind of, right? But, and sometimes with my social media posts, like I have, like sometimes I'm throwing out some gems that I've read or some proverbs and shit like that. And pick some inspiring things. But, you have to also acknowledge there's dark times too. There's also times when you're in the gym and it sucks and it's like you're just grinding, or there's some issues with family members where things aren't going well from a relationship perspective or someone's health. Like I just feel like you can't just always be smiling, but like fake smiling, or the fake it till you make it phrase, which works for some people, but I don't really like that phrase. But you know what I mean?
Yes.
You kind of understand what I'm saying?
100%. I'm just listening because you're 100% correct. Most people are fake, right? And in the eyes of, I always say, me and my wife always say this: whoever is posting too much too much positivity and or pictures of them and their husband and their kids are going through some tough shit. Like their reason they're posting is because they're trying to surround themselves with the positivity, with this like hope that this is staying together, or not not saying everybody, but they're there. There's way too much, and underlying, they're in a really bad place, and honestly, if it's like my friend and I see them posting too much, I actually reach out to them just to make sure that they are okay. Because the trend from what I've seen is someone's posting a little too much. It's them talking to themselves, only because I have done the same thing, right? Because I've like, oh, I gotta post this up because this is gonna be my motivator today, and like inside I'm crumbling. It's like I fucking hate everything about everybody. Put this up so everyone thinks you're good. Don't let anyone inside. It's a very common theme, and you're right. Like it's okay to say you're not good. Like you're not good. Like I'm in a funk right now, man. It's like it's not forever, and you're gonna learn from it. And it's that pain that you're talking about. It's painful to be in a funk. Give it some time. It's like everything you said. Day by day, it'll get better. Is it going to be perfect? No such thing, right?
And Pete, it's so much easier to be yourself too. Like it's exhausting to be someone you're not.
Yeah, right.
Like, why even try that?
Right.
It's so much easier to be genuine and just honest and talk about values, like the values that you can start from day one. Like, if you value money, followers, likes, shit like that, I mean, that's affected by that comes from the outside, right? But if you focus on those good values of honesty and I don't know, integrity. It's like you can do that like now. You don't have to wait for something to happen to do. So I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to think, like, I don't know why this came up. I was like, you're like, it's tiring trying to be someone else. I was like, yeah, like middle school. Like in middle school, it was so exhausting trying to figure out anything.
We had it all wrong. Imagine knowing what we know now and then we're back in high school.
Oh, God.
Or middle school.
Like, Jesus. Fucking trying to do whatever, They do like waking up extra hours to try to do stuff extra. Like, fuck, man, just be yourself. But then again, you're so young. I just kind of put into that perspective in my mind. I was like, oh my God, I got to do my hair and put cologne on. Got to make sure this girl likes. Is this the outfit she likes? Because I'm going to wear it today. Make sure she notices me. So much work. Man.
I wore a lot of hair gel back then too.
Yeah.
But, wow.
I don't know, man. Because a girl said it looked good. That's all it takes, man.
I need that again.
Yeah, so give me that.
Period. I need her to recognize.
Yeah, please. Never says it again. She doesn't even look at you anymore. That's that one time. You're going back to. I want to go back to you saying, "I love you," and that is one thing we make sure we say in house. Why? I don't know if it's an Asian thing, but like I know my parents loved me. It's still weird to me when my mom says I love you, because it's not that she didn't love me, it's just that I don't believe it was expressed that much. They expressed it through hugging and other things, but just the verbal, like even till today, like when we hang up on FaceTime, saying I love you is weird to say to my mom, but she could say it to my kids say it to her, but for me to say it to her, even her say it to me, it kind of like she'll stutter. So maybe it's just an upbringing. That's why we do it, I guess, so much more in our house, to make sure, because it's important, and especially your friends, you don't know anymore. Like you said, you don't know when the last time you're going to see them. And it's not a guarantee that I'm going to. Why wait? Right. And you said that before. Why wait? Good point, man.
Yeah, it's similar with my mom. It's like shaky, I love you, because it's weird. It's not weird saying it to my kids. No. Or my wife. Super not weird. But yeah, my mom's similar. Like, love you.
Yeah.
Never said that.
Right.
Don't say that, no.
Right.
But yeah, you throw it in there.
It's interesting. It's something that I've definitely noticed since we moved here, because I don't see her as much. So we'll FaceTime. And to end the call, it's just, all right, bye. You don't want to say that, So it's like, hey, I love you. Did I just say that? Did I? Did we say that to each other?
Next is the hug.
Yeah. We'll always hug, and then she'll slap me probably really fast. Just keep it Filipino. Stop. A little, a little bit. I think we're going to close out here, but so we talk about a lot of things. Is there anything that you want to express more? That was there a question that you wish I asked? I always ask this question. Take as much time. We're not in a rush. I just want to make sure we get out what it is you want to talk about as well.
No, thanks. Well, we touched on how we know similar people, so I'm glad we kind of talked about that informally. And I just feel like we can talk about so many other things. I actually have a younger brother who's in the music industry. He goes by the show name Illmind, and I just want to it's like a shout out to all of his success and hard work that he has put into his chosen profession. I can't stop like talking about my younger brother and how proud I am of his accomplishments. Not that I wish that you asked me about him, because
No.
I just wanted to mention how proud I am of my younger brother, who obviously was there. Oh yeah, when our dad passed away, who, by the way, was a very large influence in our, I guess, music love of music and music background. My dad was a guitar player. I'm named Les Paul after the inventor of the guitar. And the electric guitar. Google Les Paul. You'll learn a lot about the solid body electric guitar. But anyway, yeah. So at my dad's funeral, my brother and I like played a song at the actual wake in honor of my dad. My dad was playing a guitar song on screen. It was a YouTube recording. I had my keyboard. I play piano. My brother is on his beat machine, and we're like playing a song together. He had already passed, but there were moments when he was around where we would have jam sessions at home. And I know we want to end the call, but I just shout out to my brother, man. Just like shout out to Illmind. He's doing his thing right now.
Yeah, definitely is. Very. I didn't know it was your brother.
Good
I
stuff.
did not know that. Yeah, I didn't know it was
your
your
brother. Really look alike, and I get that a lot whenever we're together. But yeah, he's so proud of him and hoping to. And I have a great relationship with my brother. A lot of people have some of those sometimes struggles with their relationships with their siblings, either the rivalries or just disconnect or disagreements. But I'm close to my brother, man, and I'm so grateful for it.
So that's for sure. Same on my side.
Nice.
There's not. He moved out here. He just moved here Thursday. So
love it.
Like it feels good to have that connection back. We talked almost every day and forever. So it's cool to have him. And of course, just like you're the older brother, you said, right?
Yeah.
Something like it's almost like you've been a parent, before being a parent kind of thing, just watching them, caring about them, hanging out with them. And it means a lot. So that's cool. You shouted him out. I didn't know. I do want to thank Les for coming out to the podcast. Again, thank you for reaching out to me to volunteer to be on, to share a story that he's never shared before. Now, if you guys ever needed someone to maybe talk to, maybe you have a very similar case, he said he was open to listen. So where can people find you? Where can people contact?
Yeah, so I'm somewhat active on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Will you have like notes to share or in the comments? Maybe I can just let people know kind of like the handles to all the accounts. But yeah, I'm on Instagram primarily, most active there. So yeah, everybody, if you want to just take a more of a deep dive to whatever conversations from the conversation earlier, or want to tap into another topic, I'm here. I love talking things out with other people and learning about other people. So having said that, I do need to get better at disconnecting sometimes. I'm definitely self-aware about it. But yeah, reach out. We'd love to hear from y'all.
Hell yeah. Perfect. Thank you for offering. Thank you for some people out there that listen, honestly, don't think that they have someone they could reach out to. And it's, especially when it's within proximity of their friends or family, it's hard for them to do so, and someone like me or yourself is a great avenue for them to start at least opening up and or talking without any judgment. So if you're one of those people, always reach out to us or any of the guests that are on the podcast. But I do want to say thank you again for coming out. And everyone else, if you haven't, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Jersey to Vegas, if you want to help out the channel. And we'll be back next week. And I do appreciate you guys coming out. My name is Pete. This is Les. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you guys next episode.